All right, everybody, I'm going to get started. You're going to wonder why this microphone isn't working, because it's actually connected to that camera, so it's just me talking to you like I normally would. I'm Adam Hardiman. I'm with the Buffalo Recovery Task Force. It's great to have you here at Shell Place here at McDonald Island. This is our fourth public information session. This will be a presentation on interim housing. So we have Erin O'Neill, who's our recovery branch lead, as well as Caitlin Downie with our People Services branch with Recovery Task Force. We have some members of our Buffalo Recovery Committee here. We have Mark Hodson, Kim Jenkins is in the room, some members of our staff and additional recovery team members, municipal staff in the other room. So if you want to go between the two rooms, that's fine. There will be another presentation at 6 o'clock if you want to tell somebody who isn't here to come in. So without further ado, I'll introduce Erin O'Neill, our recovery branch lead, and then she'll be followed by Caitlin Downie, and then we'll go into a question and answer on it. So thank you.
I have a question before we get started.
Sure.
So you are recording this.
Yes.
Is this going to be available for other people as information on the RMWB website?
Yes, Mark, absolutely. It's actually live right now as well. So we're actually live on Facebook Live, so anyone can watch across the community as we speak. So, but in addition to that, we'll make sure to communicate out afterwards, like if you missed it, to check it out. So it's a great point. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. And again, my name is Erin O'Neill, and I'm with the Recovery Task Force, and with me is Caitlin Downie, also from the Recovery Task Force. I just wanted to mention we also have representatives from Alberta Seniors in Housing with the Government of Alberta to specifically answer questions, and then we also have representatives from the Government of Alberta Wildfire Recovery Task Force. So thank you very much. We are here tonight to give you an update on interim housing and hopefully answer any questions that you have. As you may know, a recommendation was made to Council to request interim housing from the Government of Alberta. This recommendation was approved at the July 12th Council meeting, and following the Council presentation, Mayor Melissa Blake sent a letter to the Minister of Municipal Affairs requesting that the province bring modular units into Fort McMurray. In order to determine the housing need, a survey was conducted by the Red Cross on behalf of the municipality and the Alberta government. Calls were made by our Pulse Line representatives directly to a sample of residents whose homes were destroyed or damaged beyond habitation. The results from this survey helped to inform decisions to address housing needs of these residents and to develop evidence-based strategies around housing. We are happy to announce today that the Government of Alberta approved the request made by the municipality to bring in interim housing. The survey data, as well as information gathered from stakeholder engagements, Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation, or CMHC, and local property managers, provided the level of confidence needed to advance the recommendation to the ministerial level and ultimately led to the approval from the Government of Alberta to bring in the housing units. The survey results indicate that a significant number of respondents intend to return to the region, and further, almost 3/4 of the respondents have already secured interim housing. However, not all residents have found housing which supports the case for interim housing to be brought to the region. Of those who have responded that who have not secured housing, the number of bedrooms needed was almost evenly split between 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. For those respondents citing a need for 1 and 2 bedrooms, the reported vacancy from property management companies, hotels, and housing associations suggests the demand can be met through the market. That being said, there may be other barriers preventing residents from securing housing, such as pet-friendly accommodations. For example, just under half the respondents indicated they own pets, which supports the need for pet-friendly units.
So in order to address the challenges that the municipality, in collaboration with the Government of Alberta and Red Cross, found with that survey, they've developed multiple strategies. The municipality has consulted with local hotel groups, many of whom are here today. They have confirmed long-term stay rates and eliminated daily cleaning to reduce the costs for residents. Hotel groups have come forward offering units including multiple bedrooms for long-term stays and including some units that are pet-friendly. This option would provide residents with an interim option that is immediate. The municipality has also identified the need for a communication strategy that encourages individuals who have units and or have homes for sale to rent out those properties and those units. A tip sheet was also developed for residents to help them navigate the challenges of finding pet-friendly accommodations, and that's available on the municipal website. And it's also being actively used by the Pulse Line and Red Cross. If affordability is a barrier, residents can reach out to the Red Cross for assistance with rent, mortgage, security deposits, and multiple other items. We also have other social profit groups here tonight that are supporting residents who are in need of financial support. The interim housing program has been approved by the Government of Alberta and will be managed by Wood Buffalo Housing Development Corporation, who are here tonight. The interim housing program is targeted at housing families and taking into consideration the need identified in the survey for the 3 and 4 bedroom units. To be eligible, you must be a family with children requiring 3 or 4 bedrooms and be an affected resident whose home was destroyed or damaged or is not habitable. The units are all pet friendly and they will not require an additional pet deposit. Those applications received from eligible residents will be considered by Wood Buffalo Housing Development on a first come, first served basis. Interim housing is being brought into the region in recognition of the lack of vacancy in the existing rental market for those whose homes have been damaged, destroyed, or restricted. This means that once their home has been rebuilt or restored, and or if the vacancy rates increase, residents are expected to vacate the interim housing units. This ensures that we are supporting the local economy and not hurting landlords in the region, while ensuring that residents are able to move into more permanent housing as soon as possible. Tenants will sign a 6-month lease initially, and any lease after that point would be 3 months, which would be considered by Wood Buffalo Housing and would have to undergo a review process. Please rest assured that if tenants would like to terminate the lease at any point, they can do so before that 6-month or that 3-month is up, and they can do that with a 14-day notice to Wood Buffalo Housing. If the tenant is seeking a lease renewal, the Wood Buffalo Housing Development Corporation would undergo a review process, which would include whether the tenant's home has been rebuilt or restored, and it would also take into consideration the current vacancy in the rental market. The units will be rented at market value, and all utilities, damage deposit, etc. would be the tenant's responsibility. Along with the required needs assessment, application form, and damage deposit, there are some other required documents to support the application. A list of these is available at the Alberta government table, so you can take a look at that and be prepared for when the applications do become available next week. The application will be made available on September 9th from Wood Buffalo Housing Development. In addition, there will be a demo home available for residents to go through, take a walk through that mobile unit, and potentially they could apply on the spot there as well. Again, this is on a first come, first served basis. We really want to get that word out to residents. While applications are coming in and being reviewed, the Government of Alberta will be preparing the Parsons Creek site. They'll be preparing the units to be transported up. And once the units arrive, inspection and repairs will be done, skirting and stairs will be put in place. After this is complete, the first tenants will be able to move into the units, which is anticipated to be around mid to late October. Please remember that this timeline is based on good weather. And as we all know, as residents of the region, our winter may come early. And so please keep that in mind, that the timelines may shift, and we will come forward and make those updates when we receive them.
Thank you. So we just wanted to thank everyone for coming tonight for the presentation. We do have a map of where the interim housing locations will be placed in Parsons Creek. We'd also like to thank the Government of Alberta for supporting our need for interim housing, and we look forward to the interim housing units coming in October. And if you have any questions, Caitlin, myself, Alberta Housing and Seniors, and the Government of Alberta are happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So the housing units will be available in October to actually move into. They will be on-site, transported here. The application process does start September the 9th.
Okay, so this is gonna be like first sign up, first come, first served. What about people like on the trailer like us? It's starting to get a little cold in the mornings here. Is that gonna be taken into consideration, or how's it?
Yeah.
That sense?
So there.
What's the question? Can you just maybe say it again?
Sure. So the question was around the timing. So October is the earliest that we're able to get the units up here. We do have to do, or GOA has to do some some site preparation for that. So we're working as fast as possible to get the units up here in a timely manner. We understand that it is getting cold. We ask that you be patient, and if there's anything that we can do to speed up the process, we will do that. On the needs assessment form, with Wood Buffalo Housing, there is a spot there to point out additional considerations on your application, and that would be an opportunity to kind of state the current living situation that you're in.
Also, keep in mind the Red Cross support. So if it is getting too cold in Abrams Landing or those types of things, you are welcome to, work with the Red Cross. They do have some hotel units available and those other options. So definitely seek out with the Red Cross because they can provide those additional supports until that interim housing has arrived.
Getting a meeting with Red Cross is 6 weeks down the road.
Yep.
So they also are doing triaging, and they're doing on the phone appointments. They are bringing in additional caseworkers. It is a vast need from Red Cross, so they are working their best to do. We're trying to support them with additional caseworkers, those types of things. And unfortunately, it does take that time, but there are some walk-in appointments as well. There's lots of people over there right now getting back to school cards and those types of things. So the lineup is longer this week than normal as well.
Those pet-friendly ones you were talking about, how many are there gonna be? Because we have pets, and that is a big issue for us.
So they're all pet-friendly units.
They're all?
All of them. Yeah. So the intent is to bring 65 units up right away. If there is a demand based on the application process for additional units, they are putting in the servicing for additional units, so that won't delay it anymore. And as soon as we know through that application process that the demand is higher than 65 units, the government of Alberta will go forward with that as well.
I know you've mentioned before people who are selling their homes can rent them to people in need. How do they find
the people in need of housing?
in need of a house? So if you have a house for sale and you want to rent it out, how do you get connected?
Sure. So they can contact the municipality through the pulse line and ask to be put on the housing options document. We do have a list of property managers on there. There's also a listing on Kijiji, on Rental Cafe, all of those websites. We'd be happy to share that with any landlord. There's also resources if people are looking to become landlords. We do have a landlord and tenant advisor, and she's here today as well. So if they're interested in becoming a landlord and they're wondering what that process looks like, or they have questions, they can certainly direct them that way.
Okay, guys, we have any other questions?
Yeah, we have one here.
Go right ahead.
Yeah. Busing for kids. My kids go to, two of them will go to Trinity, and one is in St. Paul. Now, when I asked about the busing for, the yellow busing for my kids in high school, they said kids around Parsons Creek and surrounding area cannot be on the yellow bus.
Sure. So it's just a question around the busing for children in this region in Parsons Creek. There are yellow buses going to some locations. You may have to, as a parent, drive to a central location to use that special bus. There is transit special school buses as well, and those would be for kind of high school aged children, so those will be available as well.
So if I wait for those houses, somebody's going to pay $5,000, right? The damage deposit plus the first rent, right? Would you know if the government will be looking at some assistance for anybody who's going to have to pull out $5,000, or how does that? Do you hear anything on that?
So the damage deposit and the rental the rental agreement is at market value. Any additional assistance, financial assistance, could be sought through Red Cross and those other financial support systems that are already in place in the region.
Okay, guys, are we all set? Have we, any more questions? Feel free. Okay. All right.
Well, it took me 3 months to move into a place. So like these families are coming back, how long is it gonna take them to move into a place? Like I got a buddy that's in Red Deer now, and like he doesn't wanna wait 3 months to move his family. Like he's working here and he's going back and forth to Red Deer. They can't afford anything. They go to the food bank in Red Deer, they go to the food bank here because he does, because he can't afford anything because he's buying all his gas to go back and forth to see his family. And he doesn't wanna wait 3 months to move into a place.
Dave can ask about the timelines.
Sure. Yeah, I can just speak to the timelines again. We're moving as quickly as we possibly can.
So what are you doing to bring in extra staff to put people in the homes?
So it's
Like,
not
'cause Wood
necessarily.
Buffalo seems to be lacking somewhere with putting people in the homes.
Okay.
And I'm not the only one.
Yeah, these units that are being brought in, it's more around having to prepare the site. So we are working on timelines as fast as possible to put those utilities in the ground for people and then transport the units up to the region. The move-in date for the first tenants would be mid-October. So we're looking at a shorter timeline than we were initially anticipating around these units. But again, it really depends on the servicing of the lots.
So there will be information coming out, more detailed information about the application form, and the application form will be available September 9th. There will also be a site trailer available so residents can go and see that on site to see what that looks like in Fort McMurray as well before, if they choose to, before they sign up for that interim housing. And then they will be on site starting mid-October to move forward that process. We understand the challenges associated with that. This lot has to be all serviced, put underground services in, ATCO Electric, Shaw, TELUS, gas, everything needs to be in this so that these are serviced mobile homes and they're ready to be occupied.
Be furnished or non-furnished?
Non-furnished.
That's another issue.
Mark?
Erin, and I know there's a lot of focus on the homes being brought in for interim housing, but I'm curious about the other options that you discussed today around maybe Wood Buffalo housing options that are repurposed, social and gap housing to supporting the market, and also maybe hotels. So this is 64. How successful has your team been in securing other housing options, like in order of magnitude?
So there has been other housing options, as Caitlin mentioned, discussed with some of the hotel operators of providing long-term stays and multiple rooms. Podolin is here tonight to answer some of those questions. There are other hotel operators here to answer some of those questions, that they've been able to waive cleaning fees and those types of things. So providing longer-term stays in hotels with multiple rooms and suites and those types of things. So that's been one option. Wood Buffalo Housing does have availability, and the ladies are here as well from Wood Buffalo Housing, and they provide that, what they refer to as gap housing. So gap housing is defined as anything between social housing and market housing, so they do have that. Caitlin, I believe there's some waiving of the requirements and those that were in place before. So Wood Buffalo Housing is also here tonight to answer any of those questions, to support that as well. So there are additional supports. These are all 3+ bedrooms that are coming. So anybody looking for 1 and 2 bedrooms, there are property management companies and the hotel operators and those that can provide that in the market at this point. And then these are all for 3 and 4 bedroom houses as well.
Jeanette, you had a question. Oh, sorry, you go ahead first.
I just wanted to get clarification. So the hotel operators, they'll offer shorter terms. So if there's a, 4 to maybe an 8-week gap where the modular homes are being delivered and set up and hooked up and all of that stuff, they'll do kind of that shorter term. I know we don't want to displace people again and again, but if it means bringing a family back to Fort McMurray so the kids can go to school, they'll offer that shorter term.
Absolutely. So again, we do have the hotel groups here today. We have been working with them on more long-term stay options, but certainly that month-to-month or that week-to-week option is still there. There would be some negotiation, I believe, around the rate because we were looking more long-term stay, but that could be talked about with the hotel group.
Sorry, you had a question?
Yes, I don't know if it's just me kids in this meeting by misconception, but in the website where I got the information, they were saying that this meeting was to help out, and when I hear over here that you guys are bringing help at a regular market price, we are already exhausting the benefit of our insurances. Red Cross is no longer saying they are help, they already help us with food, clothing, whatever we need. I have come from Edmonton looking for assistance to lower what a rental market has to pay. So I make these expenses to come over here looking to at least, I wasn't looking for charity, I'm looking to cut $2,500 for the tax roll. But I'm not seeing what most, I don't know if I'm just the one looking for that answer here, or if anybody can afford $5,000 right now, living our
No, it's
homes
affordability.
for 4 months.
Really, it is. It's affordability. Nobody in here can afford that rent.
So,
Especially when they're carrying a mortgage already.
It's affordability.
Lisa or Seniors in Housing, do you want to answer questions about market rent and why the interim housing is, you want to join us up here?
Yeah, no, of course, yeah, it's all for you guys to have to get all of it. So it's, no, the reason for the market rent was we didn't want to harm the market. And it may not be the folks who are here tonight who are in this situation, but there are a number of people who have suites in their
Harm the
basements.
market?
How are you gonna harm the market?
By bringing in
That's
extra supply.
completely defeating the purpose of doing this. We're not harming the market. We're trying to get these people a place to stay while we wait for you guys to clean our land so we can rebuild our houses.
No, and I can.
And now you're trying to
stay in
charge
this
us,
town and work.
you're trying to stay in this town and work.
No, I
Right?
can appreciate
And buy
that.
food and everything else, so if you're gonna charge us $2,500 a month for bloody rent, I can't afford to be here.
Yeah?
But I don't make that much money.
No, and that's the reason why Caitlin and Erin and the folks who organized the session tonight also brought in different housing option people to talk to.
Can't
Because
afford
you're
a
quite
hotel.
right.
You know what a hotel's gonna charge you a night?
So that's why we actually worked with the hotels to give different rates. So we do encourage you to talk to the hotel operators who are here tonight to give those long-term stay rates. Wood Buffalo Housing is also here. They have that gap housing. They are definitely the ones to talk to for that demand as well.
How do you figure like the market value? Because before fire, I was paying, a lot less. This price here is almost $1,000 to what I was paying before. So,
Yeah, it was
if
based
you look
on.
at the market now or before the fire, like now.
No, you're quite right. We did
That's not
look at
right.
the rates from before the fire, and so with the idea that we needed a baseline to look at. So
The market rates was based off of the CMHC report pre-fire. So these were based off of that report, not kind of pulled out of the air. That's what they were based off of.
And now that they have no overtime, like I didn't feed off of it. I mean, that's what got me, to live out here, overtime, stuff like that. Now it's gone. It's a little harder. So now that we're jumping up the rent, you're making life, by accommodating the places for us, it's great. But putting up the price like that is making
Yeah,
it harder.
and we really encourage people to make use of, I know the Red Cross has lineups and it does take time to get in to see them, but that financial aid is available. We also have another group here about reconstruction help. So there's an additional financial assistance. Our social profits are stepping up and helping out residents as well. So we encourage residents to look into that too, and we're collaborating with them on that.
Jeanette?
So just wearing my banker's hat, if you have a high rate of mortgage, so if you've got your mortgage through like January or CMHC.
I don't know if we can hear you. Come on over, and that way we can hear you. Sorry about that.
So just saying, putting on my banker's hat, if you have a, oh, right in front of the.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now? Are we there yet? Putting on my banker's hat,
if your mortgage is insured through Genworth or CMHC, they do have workout programs. I really encourage you to go talk to your banker, whoever it is that you normally go to for assistance, whether it's lines of credit, accounts, mortgages, those kind of things. Go talk to them and say, you know what, I'm having some trouble here. Is there something that you can do for me? Some of the banks will actually do interest only if your situation is required. They'll treat you on an individual, unique basis. But I do know that those high ratio mortgages, they have workout programs. They plan for these things, whether it's a job loss or, if there's a fire. They've got this stuff. Like, it's not their first time that they've used a workout program, right? But for everybody in the room, I understand affordability, and it's stressful for everyone when you need a roof over your head, you need food in your belly. We absolutely understand that, right? But just reach out to those around you. There's people here, you're not alone, right?
Okay, everybody, we're good on questions, and feel free if you have any more.
We're also not leaving, so we'll be roaming around the information center, and then the next session is at 6, Adam?
Absolutely, so I'll go back.
There's something about
Sorry, go ahead.
no names mentioned, but there's a fella at the Avon Planning was talking to me the other day. And it just happened by chance because I was up for another person in another place, but I had to talk to him to see if he knew where the other fellow lived. Anyway, he said he was on his last $50, maybe to be able to put one gasoline in the tank, and his son lives in Elgin. He's educated, and he's training. He went to Nova Scotia to be entered into the RCP. So the father, 49 years old, he had to get his parents to pay his way to get his son graduation.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for sure.
And he said he was pretty much ready to dog food himself. And then on the radio today, the SBC is not going to be giving free dog food anymore. So after September 4th. Can't be done.
Everybody will be back at 6 o'clock for another presentation. We know that this will be posted online tomorrow, recap of tonight's session. So hang in there. Thanks for joining us. We'll give presentation once again. Please tell anyone you know who needs this information, and we'll continue on.
Is it time maybe to share the Buffalo website? We're trying to get all these concerns on our EMS server email right now, so we can capture all this stuff as well, so the residents know we're trying to funnel all the concerns. Is it good to share that now?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you ever have a question about recovery, there's a number of ways you can learn about it, whether it's online or calling our Pulse line or emailing Pulse line. But if you want to connect with recovery specifically directly, you can always email recovery@rmwb.ca. We have staff there. Our committee members are there, task force is there as well to answer any questions and direct you to the right supports that you might need, whether they're financial or in terms of mental health.
Trying also, I think, just to capture inventory of the concerns, and we have the list, we can knock them off or it's still outstanding, but I think it's good to get it captured in one portal, so I just want to make sure we get that out to the citizens.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark?
Just following from this is a very good question. When we do come across situations like that, people that are in need, I know the Red Cross, the United Way, in partnership with United Way, received a whole bunch of money for support of social programs here in Buffalo, whether it be the food bank and other agencies. How can we better connect people to those services? Is there one place we can go? I know we were starting to come here, but I'd really I'd love to be able to just tell somebody that, here's where you can go, and it'll be an access to all the resources, whether they be financial or food or rental, housing. Where can somebody go in one stop and just say, I know where to send and get some support?
It's a great question, so maybe I'll turn that over.
So I would say the one stop right now, and it's not, is the information center that we have, the permanent information center at our Future Forward building that is set up along Franklin Avenue. Now that's also our community services department, so they can provide all the organizations that can provide those. Now they might not all be in that one room, but they can certainly direct you in the right way of where to go. So that is an information center that is set up permanently Monday to Friday, and our community services department is connected right into all those nonprofits. So they can definitely get people tied into there.